This is my Kawasaki H2SX SE that I bought from Copart as a crashed, damaged bike. Now, everything was going really quite well until about 5 litres of concrete hardener poured on it in the warehouse, sadly. So in the last video, I kind of just stripped it all down, and that's where we ended up. So today I'm going to try a couple of your guys' suggestions. Now, we've got compressed air, we've got jet wash, which I'm going to struggle with because there's currently a hosepipe ban, so I probably shouldn't be using a jet wash. So we'll just get some hot water and try and just wash it all off. Now, admittedly, it has been a few weeks since I took it all apart, and it's actually helped the concrete hardener to break down a little bit. It's quite flaky now, so I think the compressed air is going to do a pretty good job to start with. I've also got to remove the old alarm, and there's a weird kind of, what's it called? Old sat-nav kind of system thing that, I don't have the sat-nav, so there's no point in having the docking station for that. So I'll get all that removed as well, and I'll go into a bit more detail about how that is done. So yeah, let's not go in the workshop because it's a nice day. Let's stay outside and just crack on. I'll go get myself a bucket of water and a sponge and the little compressor, and we'll see how clean we can get this. Failing that, one of the suggestions, well, a few people suggested ice blasters, and I think that actually might not be a bad idea. I need to find out how much it is though, because, well, I'm not made of money. Right, air compressor. So if you look, so some of it's coming off, and yeah. So it's not as effective as I was kind of hoping. So I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and try and get this the best I can with the compressed air, and you guys can rejoin me once I've removed as much as the really flaky and dirty, dusty stuff as I can, okay? Right. Give me a couple of hours. Right, I've changed my mind. I'm not going to get a bucket of water. I've actually rang and spoken to the ice blasters. You've probably heard of them. If you watch like Matt Armstrong or Mark McCann, they've got Bugatti Veyrons, and they've had the ice blasters clean their cars, and they come out pretty much spotless, and it will do a much better job than I can do. And when I spoke to them on the phone, it doesn't actually sound that expensive. I didn't think it was going to be as inexpensive as it is. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not cheap, but I won't get an actual value. That's why I'm not telling you how much they said it might be until it's actually been done, because I need to send them some pictures via the email. They're not available for a couple of weeks. So yeah, I'm going to go down that route, which I think is the best idea, because it will get rid of all the dirt and kind of the rust and all the grime and everything, because this has done like 70 odd thousand miles, so it's got 70,000 miles worth of road on it. Right, waffling on, I'm going to crack on and remove the old alarm system. Let's start with the easy jobs first. So here's the alarm, which has got quite a bundle of wires attached to it, and here is the old kind of sat-nav thing. This has only got one cable attached to it, which then goes into a bundle of cables here, which then is only attached via here by the looks of things. I think that, yeah, that's a USB socket. So we need to remove this tape and find out how good of an installation it actually is. Give me a second. Now, with the main piece of insulation tape removed, we can now see two individual bits of insulation tape that need removing. Right, with those removed, not bad, not bad. We've got solder. Not the best soldering I've ever seen, but better than just twiddling the wires around, eh? So now I need to go grab the soldering iron and get these wires off. Right, I just spent ages looking for the soldering iron, couldn't find one, so I bought this from Toolstation. Let's do a quick unboxing video. There we go, it's unboxed. Also picked up some solder to go with it as well, because obviously only Draper solder works with a Draper soldering iron. Don't need that. And obviously you're going to want an unboxing video of this as well, so there we go. Right, on, maximum. Let's go. So it's good practice to, well, it helps sometimes to add a little bit of solder to remove solder. Oh, it's melting it, but the wire has been twisted round the cable, which isn't very helpful. There we go. Just have to give it a bit of a tug. Hope you can see what I'm doing. There we go. Off. Now I just need to tidy this up with a bit of insulation tape, and that one's done. Now, because this is just going in the bin, I'm not going to go through the effort of trying to thread this massive bundle through this tiny gap. So I'm just going to cut the cable tie off, get rid of it all, and then lob it in the bin. Now, if anyone's saying that's a bit of a waste of money, you could sell that. Well, if you're going to buy one of these sat-nav kits, I'm pretty sure it will come with a wiring loom. Right, moving on. Having said that, I will keep the bracket because, as you can see, it's just kind of, sorry, the sunlight today is blinding. So the actual like sat-nav bit is just screwed in with 4 screws. So if I undo those 4 screws, I can keep this bracket and then maybe mount a future sat-nav or phone holder to it. Cool. I've inspected these very closely and there are no broken strands of copper, so I'm actually quite happy that I can just cover these back up. I don't need to cut them shorter and make them put in a patch, because obviously if I'd have damaged like one of these strands, then it would have reduced the amount of current that can go through these wires, but all the strands look good, so yeah, all good. There we go. You wouldn't even know I'd been in there. Now, this alarm is completely and utterly useless because I don't have the fob for it. This is the tracking device that went with it, I believe. It's got an IMEI number, which again, useless because we don't have the fob or anything like that. So, to save myself a little bit of time here, I'm just gonna cut that there so I can pull that out there, throw that away. And all we've got left to remove is this bundle of wires, but it is kind of taped all up in here, and I think it goes down here somewhere as well, because I believe it might flash the indicators when you used to be able to press the key fob that I don't have. Yes, looks like somebody might have been in here. There's a bit of insulation tape going on there. So right, I'm going to remove all the tape I can and then we'll get to that. These 2 wires here go to this sensor, which is obviously some sort of sensor that sets the alarm off once you lift the seat up, but we don't need it anymore. So let's just pull that out. Now that runs through this grommety thing, which, there we go. I need to put that back on the bike because this ran through it as well. Now you've got a main power cable connected there. That I believe is probably for the tracker. And this, once I've unsoldered that, this gubbins of wires will come out. Now this goes up here, connecting to the box again, as you can see. Hopefully you can see, sorry about the crazy bright sunlight. And then there's just a case of 2 or 3 more wires. Now normally with an alarm system like this, you'd have the starter wire or the main kind of electrics going to the solenoid coil for the starter motor broken and then reattached via 2 wires from the alarm. So this actually hasn't been wired in properly at all, which is actually making removing it a little bit easier than it would do if it was installed properly. Cool. Right, I've got a bit more tape to remove here and then I can unsolder them from the rear lights. This is my Triumph 955i Speed Triple that I've ridden from Cardiff to Bedford this week because, well, I need to put it up for sale, really, can't keep them all kind of thing, and Kate didn't want this bike. It was too heavy, the levers were like too far away from the handlebars, and it was too high. So a few things that she didn't like about it, but I absolutely love this bike, and it's ridden here 180 odd miles and hasn't skipped a beat, other than the fact that I stopped to fuel it and the battery was completely flat, even though I charged up the battery yesterday before leaving. And yeah, so I need to have a look at that. I'm pretty sure that it's charging absolutely fine, because else it would have conked out and wouldn't have ridden, because it needs electricity to generate sparks and stuff. So I think the battery's probably had it. So let's well, I'm going to jump start it, fire the bike up, check the battery, well, check the charging with my multimeter, and then look to get a new battery for it. So with the bike jump started and idling nicely, let's stick the prongs on. Right, we got 13.8 volts, which is pretty good. Let's add some revs. Can I hold them in position whilst doing that? Yeah, there you go. That's reading funny because it's not a very good connection, because I've kind of just balanced the things in here. Hold on. Let me try and get them so they're actually touching the terminals nicely. There we go. Right, try again. Right. That is as stable as a goose. They're pretty stable, aren't they? Yeah, stable as a goose. Right, okay. Now watch what happens when I try and start it with this battery. So I turn the ignition on, drops to 13.3 volts. And I'm going to struggle to press the starter button and hold the clutch in at the same time. 1 sec, I'll get a cable tie. Cable tie acquired. Let's see what happens. Well, look, it's already dropped a volt whilst we've been doing nothing. Right, well, while I've been trying to put that cable tie in. Ready? Yeah, that battery is kaput. So I know the charging system's working because throughout the rev range it is producing, what, 13.7 volts, something like that. It wants to be about 14 and a half, so it's a little bit low, but like I said, it rode here 180 odd miles without a single problem at all. And obviously I had the lights on, dip beam as well. So yeah, just needs new battery then. I was really hoping to show you how an immobilizer worked, but I can't because it wasn't installed correctly. Basically, I'll tell you instead of show you. So you've got the wires that activate the relay for the starter motor. Now what you do, you break one of the wires and you send it, rather than sending the 12 volts to the starter motor, you send it to the alarm box, and then the alarm box, once you deactivate it, sends it to the starter motor relay. So basically it kind of like sits in the middle and acts as an extra key effectively. Anyway, right, so now we're just gonna kind of have to wait for the ice blasters to do their thing, and we can then carry on with the rest of the rebuild and obviously the bodywork. I'm going to do that myself. I'm just going to wash that with hot water and a bucket of sponge. A bucket of sponge? Bucket and sponge. So thank you very much for watching. Sorry we didn't get a lot done in this video, but I have been so busy. Struggling to make videos weekly at the minute, so just bear with me. I am getting the unit soon for, well, basically where the tent is in the barn on the farm. We're getting the rest of that barn because we've only got like 2/3 of it. So I'm getting the extra third to be able to make an actual proper bike workshop. So watch this space, that is happening very soon. So and obviously I'm getting asked a lot what's going on with the GSXR 1100. Don't worry, I've got all the seals I need for the clutch master cylinder, the slave cylinder, the brake, the front brake master, the brake caliper seals. Oh, I need to order them actually. But I've got the kits to do the master cylinder for the front brake and the master cylinder for the back brake. And well, that's probably what I'm going to be doing tomorrow, which is actually today, if you're watching this video on the Sunday that it was released on. Does that make sense? So it's actually yesterday. So I'm recording this yesterday, if you're watching it today. Maybe. Anyway, I know some of you enjoy my waffling and some of you want me to just shut up, but I do the waffling for the ones of you that do enjoy it. So I am currently waffling. Anyway, I do have two really cool projects coming up for the channel. I've got the bikes, they're in my possession. One of them has been under a tarp in the tent on the barn on the farm for a little while. The other one I had delivered to Cardiff on Sunday, yeah, last Sunday actually. So, and that is, oh, mental, absolutely mental what that is. But anyway, no secrets coming out about that. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Leave me a comment, even if it is you're annoying. But I don't think you're going to do that because you're not going to be watching this part of the video because it's right at the end. And if you've got this far, then I'm pretty sure you enjoyed watching it anyway. Whatever. Have a great week. I'll see you soon.